Is it like rendering, like spinning?
Yeah, there it goes.
It's time!
Welcome to the Outbound Sports Podcast. Come with us, Out of Bounds, as we discuss and debate the latest topics in the world of sports. We have a great show ahead, so let's get to it.
Support for the Out of Bounds Sports Podcast is brought to you by Manscaped, who's the best in men's below-the-waist grooming. Manscaped offers precision-engineered tools for your jewels. They obsess over their technology developments to provide you with the best for your grooming experience. Manscaped is trusted by over 2 million men worldwide. We have an exclusive offer for my listeners, 20% off plus free shipping with the code OUTOFBOUNDS at manscaped.com. Now let's go out of bounds. Hello and welcome to the Out of Bounds Sports Podcast. I'm your host, Corey Harrison. I have Big Baby Jonathan from the Big Baby Jonathan Sports Podcast. How are you doing? Haven't seen you in a while. What you been up to?
Man, just grinding on this YouTube, podcasting, and working, man. Hope all's well with you and the family.
Everything's been going great, man. I heard you had got a job at the gym. So how's that been going?
Oh, it's going well over there. You know what I mean? So happy to work and grinding, man.
So we're gonna get into it quick, man. Andre Drummond, he made his debut last night with the Los Angeles Lakers. Overall, what do you take with this debut that he had, and what do you expect moving forward?
Moving forward, man, Andre Drummond, like his game, his hustle, his grit, his grind, sassy. It's unfortunate his toe got injured, and he's out tomorrow night's game versus Sacramento.
So he was 8 of I think they started the game with the Lakers 8 of 13, and they started out really hot. You know, we looked at Drummond. He looked a little lighter than he normally does. Like he looked like he lost a lot of weight. Looked like he was in shape. He looked pretty good for a guy that's been out of basketball for a month and a few days. So how do you think he looked last night? In the little time that we did see him.
He looked great. You know, his athleticism was there, rotating, and his defensive presence was there too. When he went out in the game, our defense didn't go as good when he was in there.
So what do you think about even though this is one game, what do you think about moving forward once AD and LeBron gets back into the rotation? How do you think the offense is going to look with him?
Man, it's going to look wonderful. LeBron makes everybody better, so I expect Andre Drummond to dominate. I expect AD to dominate. And I just want to see this team come together, hold the fort, whether they're all sitting out getting healthy. I want to see this team come together and start winning games.
How deep do you think the Lakers are right now with the roster the way it is now?
Oh, it's very deep. I would keep with anybody. The Brooklyns of the world, Clippers, Portland Trailblazers, Denver Nuggets. I like our chances. We got Montrezl Harrell. We got great talent. Wesley Matthews, fortunately KCP, Kuzma, THT, Marcus Gasol. So I like our chances along with Anthony Davis, LeBron, and Schroeder. I'm excited, man. Very excited for LeBron to get back on the court. AD too.
How does this move shape up with the NBA? Does it shake the NBA, or do you think we're on a level playing field? Like what are you looking at this as? Like, because you see what Brooklyn's doing. They added LaMarcus Aldridge. They have they got your James Harden. You got Kyrie. You got Blake Griffin. Like, how do we stack up against teams that are loading up?
We stack well against them. Got great talent. LeBron's on the team. AD, Andre Drummond, and any team that LeBron's on, you have a punch chance to win the NBA championship. So I'm not scared of none of those teams. But if we gotta have the chemistry going into the playoffs. So if you don't have the chemistry, And here's the other thing too. This new Lakers team that got together haven't been in playoff experience together. Only LeBron, Anthony Davis, Caruso, KCP had the playoff experience together. You know what I mean? So it's gonna be interesting to see what we do in the playoffs with this team.
So, what? Let's go back to last night. Let's back up a little bit. Let's go back to last night. So the injury. I was actually watching this game in between, my different broadcasts that I normally do for pregame and postgame. I was looking at how it happened, and it looked like Brook Lopez stepped on Andre Drummond's foot, and I don't know exactly what happened once he did that, but his toenail actually came off. It said that the whole entire nail came off. So like, I've never experienced that injury before. I don't know how long it will take to heal or anything like that. But what are you concerned that we just got him and he's already going to be out a few games?
Man, Lakers season has been hit with the injury bug, man. Like last year, we didn't have that much injuries. A lot of teams last year had injuries. Now it's the script. We're injured. Trying to get healthy, playoffs.
So he scored 4 points last night before he was out. I think he tried to come back in right after it had happened, but it was just a no-go. We seen him go back in there. He only played 14 minutes. So I guess let's go back. What was your overall expectations, once they said that he was going to be inserted into the starting lineup? And how do you think that made Marc Gasol feel in that situation, knowing that they had got him to be an impact player for the Lakers, but then they went out and got another big man, and he went to the bench?
My expectations with them for Andre Drummond last night, before he got injured, I had 14 points, 11 rebounds, and 2 blocks. That's how I felt. But as far as Marc Gasol, I feel like he a little bit hurt. Like it's upset, But then the day he's a veteran, it's a business. And I did see some reports out there that they're unexpected to buy him out. Because I know there's reports out there that they were going to buy him out. But according to my sources, they're not going to buy him out.
What do you think the Lakers could possibly do with that last spot? Because they got another spot left on the roster that they can fill. Who do you think that they probably want to fill that with? I've heard Avery Bradley. What do you think about bringing him back?
Yeah, I heard that name too. We also got to look at the Jabari Parkers of the world. Otto Porter Jr. if he gets bought out by Chicago. Actually, Orlando. My bad. He got traded from. He got traded with him. So I'm not expecting to get those. Here's what I want to do. If I was the Lakers, try to get Avery Bradley. If you can't get him, go to Jabari Parker. Jabari Parker could work well with the defense, or we just keep it just in case. Just go right where we have.
How long have you been a fan of the Lakers?
Since 2000. Shaq, Kobe, Robert Horry. And my first ever Laker game ever watching was when Kobe took over the game against Indiana. When he sprained his ankle, Shaq got fouled out. And also, too, I remember experienced the Robert Horry game-winning shot. I remember it like it was yesterday. My grandma was on my left side. My brother was on my right side. I was sitting on the couch. I was like, all right, it's going to be a good finish. I was like, oh, no, we missed it. This is again. Robert Horry for the win. Let's go. And I ran outside screaming, man.
Well, you're talking about Sacramento, right?
Yes, Sacramento.
And that's when they threw the ball in his direction.
Yeah, he tapped it out.
Yeah, I remember. He was wide open. Nobody. How do you leave Robert Horry open?
I don't know, man. It's crazy. If I was in this situation, if I was a Kings coach, I would say double team Robert Horry.
You remember who that was? It was Rick Adelin.
Yeah, Rick Adelin. Yeah.
You remember that?
Yeah.
And I remember like it was yesterday too. How old are you, big baby?
28.
28?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm 34, so I mean I remember very well. I mean that was crazy. I jumped up and screaming like that game. That was a crazy game because it was so close. The Kings had a good team that year too. Like, we ran up on them a couple times.
The Sacramento Queens.
Yeah, that's what Shaq used to call him. But isn't he like a part owner of them still?
Yeah, it is.
That's crazy.
Yeah, and it's all good, man. We got championships.
Oh yeah. That, I mean, we always gonna prioritize that. So, what do you give if you can give a letter grade on the move with Andre Drummond? A, B, C. What do you think it is? I mean, just considering. Okay, let's just go back a little bit. I mean, I'm gonna just play devil's advocate a little bit, and I want to pull up a few things. Bear with me.
No worries.
Now, Andre Drummond has only been in the playoffs 8 times.
Mm-hmm.
You know that, right?
Yeah.
He's not been on teams that were successful.
Mm-hmm.
Going back to the Detroit Pistons, his numbers were always there. He can give you great production on the boards. He can give you great production as far as points and things like that. But we've known that Andre Drummond, when he was with the Detroit Pistons, that he didn't always have high energy. What do you think about that?
Can you repeat the question again? It went out of mind.
Okay, so we know that he hasn't been in situations where he was winning.
Mm-hmm.
He's been on teams that he wasn't asked to do very much because the team had low expectations.
Mm-hmm.
So and it has been seen that his motor doesn't always stay warm all the time as far as like with high energy. Now, do you think that this changes now that he's with the Lakers because the pressure and expectation is always championships? He's not been asked to play on a championship level. So how did his level of play stack up against the expectations?
He's gonna turn up. His energy's gonna be there. He went from 2 organizations that don't know how to win. Detroit, Cleveland. Lately, past couple years, and then comes to the Lakers. Sees all those banners. This is what it's all about. Let's go try to win. And he's had that cultural change. He experienced losing in the playoffs and not playoffs, seasons. Goes to the Lakers, playoffs. He's gonna start winning. He's gonna get hungry. He's probably hungry right now. Get ready to turn up for the playoffs.
So let's just look at some of his stats back in Detroit, and I'm gonna start with his rookie season back in 2012. He played a grand total of 60 games. He started 10 of them. He averaged about 20 minutes a game. His field goal percentage was at 60%. He's a 50% three-point shooter that year. And 37% from the free throw line. Not great from the charity stripe. And he was averaging about a block and a half a game and about a little over 7 points a game on that. Now, the next season, his sophomore season, he played all but one game. So he played 81 games. Minutes went up to 32. But I want to look at some of the key areas that he's good at.
Mm-hmm.
His points went up to 13 that year. His rebounds exploded to 13. The next season after that, he played 82 games. Minutes was still around that 30 to 32 range. 50% from the field. Rebounds steady going up, 13.5. Points went up to 13.8. I want to get to his season where his rebounds started really, really going up. And that was the 2017 season. He played 78 games, but he had 16 boards that year on 15 points. That is the Andre Drummond the Lakers is going to need. We're not going to need him to do anything any crazier than that. Just give us what you've been given for the last few years. Even with that one season with the Cavs, where he played the 8 games with the Cavs. He played 25 games in 2000. I mean, this year, he was averaging 17 points and giving us 13, giving you 13 boards. That's all we need. Give us about 18 points, 15 boards, and it's a slam dunk on the championship talk. I mean, we already that's all they need.
Yeah, most definitely.
But
We need defense intensity. Like he basically we got him like how we got JaVale McGee and Dwight Howard last season. Come in, block shots, run the floor, set good screens. If they miss a layup, put back dunks. The energy's gonna be there. He's very talented. Love his game.
So we're gonna get to the next topic, and we're gonna talk a little bit about the Brooklyn Nets, but we're gonna take a little break real quick.
Puda, you the GOAT, boy.
All right, we're back. So we're gonna talk a little bit about the Brooklyn Nets. So they playing tonight. I looked at the game, man, and it was going insane. They had it was almost up 25 points. They was playing against the Charlotte Hornets. I don't know. Where do you want to start with this, man? Like, they getting everybody. And go ahead.
The Brooklyn Nets All-Star team. What next game they're gonna do? Try to get Michael Jordan to come out of retirement?
And like, I don't understand what are they doing? Like, tell me exactly what are your overall take on the Brooklyn Nets?
They're trying to take down LeBron and AD.
That's the reports. The game against Charlotte, they actually won 111-89. Is this style of play that they play, is it sustainable? They don't play a whole lot of defense. James Harden was out too.
Was Kyrie playing?
Yeah, Kyrie did play.
But they all Aldridge. Blake Griffin didn't play either, huh?
I'm not sure. I don't think he did, if I'm not mistaken. I don't remember him playing tonight.
They haven't had any real versatility yet.
What do you think
we got LeBron?
If once they do?
But here's the thing: you were talking about. You think they got Aldridge and Blake Griffin because you think that Kevin Durant's not going to play the rest of the season because he's injured.
I did say that.
Yeah.
So what do you think about that? Do you think that Kevin Durant's injury is a little bit more serious than we expected?
Yeah, most definitely. Because last season, actually the year he was going to State, he was injured. He back rushed it towards Achilles and then went that problem again. And if they feel like he's not ready to come back, they're probably going to sit down. You're done for the season. Our team has a good chance to win the championship. Just sit out. That's what I would do if I was Brooklyn, if it was that bad. But at the end of the day, I feel like he's saving his energy for the playoffs. That's how I feel.
He could possibly be, but I mean, if you think about it, you can't really play all those guys heavy minutes because you only get so many minutes a game, and it really don't make any sense for them to get so many players where they're gonna have to distribute all these different minutes. So when they get KD back, what is it gonna look like? You're gonna have to play James Harden. You're gonna have to play Kevin Durant. You're gonna have to play Kyrie. Where does everybody else stack up? You only got one basketball. One. You don't play the game with two basketballs. You only have one basketball. Where are all the touches going to be distributed? Who's going to be the leader? Who's going to take the last shot?
Dude, that's a good, interesting point. Whoo, man. I have to go with James Harden on that one. Take the last shot.
I like Kyrie. He handles the basketball better than any point guard I ever seen in my life. And that's not a knock to Allen Iverson. I grew up in the Allen Iverson era, but Kyrie, I'm picking Kyrie. The things
What
that
do you
he's
think,
able to
Fred?
do. The biggest difference that I see, I mean, he has the ball on the string. I mean, he takes the backseat to nobody when it comes to being a point guard.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he can do it all. He can score, finish at the cup. He can shoot the three. He can shoot the mid range. He can distribute the basketball. But I like James Harden better with the basketball in his hand because he's right now he's leading the league in assists.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm seeing a different James Harden. They're not really asking him to do all that stuff that he was doing in Houston. He's not, trying to get cheap fouls, get to the free throw line. He's actually playing basketball. He doesn't look like he's out there playing ruck apart. He's out there actually trying to get guys involved where he's playing high-level basketball with intelligence. I mean, honestly, bro, I really honestly think that they got a good shot to make a run this year. They might even take the East.
Yeah. I feel that way too, but I said, guys, stick to it. Can't jump off the wagon. I feel like Miami has a chance to compete with them.
Miami, give me feedback. Why do you think Miami?
Jimmy Butler, Bam Adebayo, Victor Oladipo, Kendrick Nunn, Duncan Robinson, Tyler Hero. They had that championship experience as a team. They got some new guys in. Eric Spoelstra's a great coach, winner. He's going to preach defense, and Jimmy Butler ain't scared of nobody. So I expect Brooklyn and Miami to go back and forth in the playoffs. If they meet up, that's how I feel about it personally.
You don't think the Bucks are going to be back up there?
No, Bucks are going to still do the same old Buck things, just like the Clippers.
You don't think they tired of that?
Then they gotta go win. You know what I mean? But
okay. So take your I guess just give me your honest to God opinion, regardless of who your favorite team is. Who do you think realistically has a shot to win this year's NBA title? And give me your 100% unbiased opinion.
Brooklyn. Because of the stacked all-star team. They got Kevin Durant, James Harden, Kyrie. They got a great group of talent over there, man. And let's keep 100. I know.
That's all I ask. I'm not as far. I'm not, I'm not going off the deep end with this team right now because I got to be able to see them, hit the wall, hit adversity, see, exactly what this team is about when they get hit in the mouth.
Yeah.
So,
I know that. Damn.
Shout out to
Dan.
Tess.
I'm gonna take care of that once the podcast is over. But as far as Brooklyn, man, they sent him an invite.
Let me send him one. See if he come on.
Brooklyn, man. I just feel like I miss competition. I feel like Brooklyn's gonna run away with the East. Well, even though I said my mind, but still, once Cam comes back. They're just blowing teams out after left, right.
I just want to see exactly, how they're gonna stack up against, when they get into the playoffs. That's really what I'm, want to see.
Man, I want to see a healthy LeBron, AD. I want to see a healthy Lakers team versus Brooklyn.
So give me a prediction. So say for instance the Lakers do drop Brooklyn in the NBA Finals.
Yeah.
Does it go 7 games?
Yes.
Who hits the last shot?
For who, Lakers or Brooklyn?
Yeah, if it's a clutch situation, who do you like with the ball in their hands, with the game on the line? If you're the Lakers,
LeBron top key, AD sets the screen, back three for AD pick and pop.
AD shoots the 3.
Yeah.
AD's clutch like that.
Yeah.
He gonna be like that one game when he said Kobe.
Yeah.
You remember that?
Yeah. I remember But like that's how LeBron is, you know. I know he takes game-winning shots, you know, but then he's a point guard first. He wants to make the extra pass. So I would not be surprised if he did that in the game 7 NBA Finals. Passed it.
Who's your favorite Laker? It can be past or present.
He's behind me. Kobe Bryant.
What if they say you couldn't pick Kobe? Who else would it be? Who would be your next favorite Laker?
Nah, Anthony Davis.
So you like ADs? I said past or present. So you gonna pick AD out of all the Laker greats?
No, I gotta go with Shaq.
Shaq was one of my favorites too. Yeah, like man, I liked Shaq when he was with Orlando. Do you remember him playing Orlando?
Yeah, dominant.
I mean, he was small. He was a lot smaller. He got up and down the court faster.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he was dominant. You know, like even when he came out of LSU, I mean, you couldn't do anything with Shaq. And I remember
if Shaq didn't have that, I'll just show up to the arena and not practice and dominate. If he had that Kobe Bryant mindset, he'd have more rings right now. Because him and Kobe had that interview. You know, he's like, I'll just show up any day and I'll still play basketball regardless. That's right there. Kobe collided.
Yeah. So, I like Magic. I like Kareem. Of course, Shaq, Kobe. And LeBron is really growing on me.
Yeah, same here.
I mean, just because once you put on that Laker uniform and you win us a championship, that right there is big for me.
Yep. And
that's big time.
I remember when he first came to the Lakers, I was just hard on him. And I said that Lakers win the championship and he puts his ring. I respect him. And then when we won the championship, on my live, I was going crazy. We won it, and I apologized to LeBron and said, "You're a Laker. Officially, let's run it." You know. Daniel Artest was in the comments too. He saw me.
Yeah. So I want to take a quick break, and then we're going to get into our next topic.
Puda, you the GOAT, boy.
All right, we are back, big baby.
So
I've been having a great opportunity to be able to sit in on some of the NBA's pregame and postgame shows and interviews and things like that.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I first got this opportunity to do it with the Dallas Mavericks.
Mm-hmm.
You know, the first question I was able to ask, you know, was with Rick Carlisle, and I have to admit to you, I was very nervous because I could hear the echo from the TV, and I heard my voice on the TV.
Mm-hmm.
And I was all like, wow, my voice is on TV. You know, I started this podcast about a year ago. A couple of days ago was my first year anniversary of starting the podcast. And the idea came when I was at work. I work at a gym too. I work at Planet Fitness. I manage a gym, local Planet Fitness, out here in Haltom City, Texas. And I was just randomly thinking, because I listen to a lot of the sports shows that comes on to the Sirius XM, or I watch them on ESPN, FS1, and things like that. And as much as I talk sports, as much as I meet different people from the gym and things like that, and you know, getting everybody's sports take and things like that, you know, past players, present players, we're having heated debates while I'm at work. You know, that's the beauty of actually working at a gym, because you meet so many different people with so many different perspectives, so many different ideas. How many, you know, a lot of people come in and they've studied basketball, they know basketball, and if you just start off and you spark a conversation with people, you know, that conversation can go anywhere. And I said, you know what? I want to start a podcast. But when I said that, I had my cousin in mind and I wanted to talk to him because me and him, we would text talk every single day about sports topics. Things might come up, breaking news. We would talk about it. That was our thing. So I presented him. I said, hey, we should try to start a podcast. He was like, what are you going to call it? So I thought about it for a few hours. I said, let's call it Out of Bounds. So I started getting the ball rolling, basically trying to figure out how can I put this together? What do I need? What kind of equipment do I need? I didn't have anything but my phone and an iPad. And I had the Anchor app. So I downloaded the Anchor app, decided to record my first show. Ironically, it's my son's birthday. He had just turned 14 when I started my podcast. And so that's why I would always remember it, because it already is a special day for me because it's my son's birthday. So that's what makes the podcast unique, because my son was born that day. My podcast was born that day. So, my first topic, we was talking about NFL. Show was horrible. I didn't like the sound. It was all over the place. Didn't really have a whole lot of direction. We just was shooting from the hip, different topics. People were chiming in, had no structure. I wanted to give up that night. I said, man, this is not for me. This is harder than I thought. So fast forward a year, I've been able to have amazing guests. I met you, was able to meet Daniel Artest. Just a whole lot of great people, great content, great shows and things like that, over all this time. And I started this during the pandemic. And I was able to record a whole season during the first wave of the pandemic because we was out work, because I had so much time to dedicate to it. I didn't really have anything else going. All I did was work out, record podcasts. I would run outside, work out, record a podcast. I was obsessed with it. Then I hit a wall, started getting kind of complacent and not really understanding how can this show survive, because, I was running out of content. The live sports was done. Like, they didn't have any live sports going on. And I was like, what am I going to talk about? There's no live sports going on. And so when live sports did come back, I was like, I'm already over it. So I stopped recording for a while. Then we got a house and we moved. And I was all like, man, I don't feel like recording a podcast. I almost gave up on my podcast. And after that, I was able to finally get motivation. Started recording more. I got introduced to the Say It Again network. I started recording here and there, just because I felt like it was important for me to record, especially since a network reached out to me to actually start, actually moving somewhere. And I started recording. Things started looking up. Clubhouse was introduced, and I was able to meet so many great people. My wife actually put me on Clubhouse. She said, hey, they have this, this app. It's called Clubhouse. She told me the concept. I said, oh, man, I'm out on that. I don't really talk like that in a group of people like that. I'm not really, even though I got a podcast, I'm not really that social like that. It's like a social network that I just was like, oh, no, I'm good on that. So then I actually was curious about it one day. Ironically, Daniel sent me the invite to join because, it's invite only.
Yeah.
And so I met a guy on there. His name was Chris. And he had came into the room, one of the rooms I was in. He was all like, hey, I just got off, an interview with such and such. I forgot who he was, who he had got off the interview with, but the whole room was like, who? Really? I think it was an NBA player or something like that, or with an NBA team. And then he's like, man, if y'all ever want to, do something like that, just hit me up in my DM. I hit him up while he was still on the Clubhouse app. I hurry up and send him a message, and then we got connected. But then he told me exactly what I need to do. Hey, just start reaching out to this team. Reach out to this team. Ironically, the Dallas Mavericks gave me my first opportunity. And I got obsessed with trying to reach out. I just kept on trying different teams. Even to this day, I would just try different teams. And in that time frame, I was able to be able to do the Mavericks. I've done Lakers. I've done Spurs. And I'm going to tell you right now, those experiences and those opportunities, I never forget them, because if you think about it, there is no way I've been able to do those, interviews or those questions and things like that if it hadn't been for a pandemic. There's no way I would be able to make those connections with those people by getting on Clubhouse, or being able to sit in the comfort of my home to be able to ask people that I've watched over the years on TV. Even though a lot of people have terrible pandemic stories, the pandemic actually helped my podcast. So, I just think that the experience is so great, and I hope that what I'm saying and what I'm doing will inspire somebody else.
Yeah, most definitely, man. Everything else for a reason, man. I see you doing your great thing, man. Proud of you, man.
Man, and you know what I appreciate, man, every time that I'm on live, anytime that I have anything going on, you're the first person to comment. You're the first person to tap into it. And I think that's very, very important, as a a fellow podcaster, somebody that's trying to get to the same level, or trying to, be something, get something out of this. And I think it's very important that, we're trying to get to the same place, and we just try to keep working at it every single day, and we have to support each other. Because even if nobody else is going to be supportive, if we can't worry about that, as long as we have each other when it comes to that. At the end of the day, I'm just trying to support you, you're trying to support me, because we're both trying to make it. And I think that we both have amazing shows, have amazing content, we have a great passion for what we're doing, and I think that's what's gonna sustain us. That's what's going to take us to the next level. It's because it's genuine, it's organic, just the way everything started. For me, it was shaky at first, but this is what I want to do. This is what I want to be able to sustain, as far as like, my life or whatever, I want to transition to just working on podcasts, being able to, get more connections with the NBA, maybe get into NFL, maybe get in MLB and things like that, because I want to start tapping into more opportunities that are out there. The podcast, let's face it, it's not really a whole lot of money. It's not that lucrative, but it's a gateway to get into other spaces, to get more opportunities, to get more exposure to these different, outlets and things like that. So the podcast can be used as a stepping stone, because, you're not going to get rich off of just podcasting. So if I can podcast, boom, if I can get on the radio, if I can get on TV, or if I can hook up with this person to do this, or meet with this person after the pandemic hit and things open up, then we can actually probably start meeting these people, or getting in spaces where people are giving us these opportunities.
Yeah, man. For me, one of my goals is to do what you're doing, like for the media stuff. I'm reaching out to the teams too. Every day I'm reaching out. Nothing back yet, but I'm still gonna do it. Like I do with these NBA players. Come on my shows. DM. Email. You know what I mean?
I think it's very important like to actually continue to try, regardless if you get knocked down, you get discouraged and things like that. It's important that you get back up because that's a part of the journey. To get knocked down, to get back up, to keep fighting. Because once you give up, it's over. It's over. You can't give up, regardless of how hard it is, because this is a goal. It's a dream. It's not supposed to be easy, because if it was easy, everybody would get up and do it. It is so hard for me because I'm not a social person. Talking in front of people intimidates me. The microphone intimidates me. But this is what I want to do. This is what I have a passion for. So I keep working at it and working at it and working at it. The other day I had 5 pregame and postgame shows. And this all after work. I work a full-time job, 10, 11 hours a day. I work Monday through Friday. It's very difficult to work a full-time job, expend all your energy into work, and to come home, eat for a little bit, and then I'm looking at NBA stuff, trying to figure out, what my notes are going to be. I'm writing notes. My mind is, I can't never turn my brain off. From the, I only get like maybe a few hours of sleep, and then I'm back up trying to figure out what my next opportunity is going to be. I'm reaching out to NBA teams. I'm reaching out to PR departments and things like that. I'm just basically trying to work at it. You can't go to work, put everything you have into your job, and then cut your dreams off. You have to have something to push you. You have to be inspired. You have to be motivated. I read a lot. I read a lot of books that helps with motivation and things like that. When I start getting complacent, when I start getting down on myself and start really feeling sorry for myself, I try to listen to stuff that's inspiring. I don't really listen to a whole lot of music, especially not the music of the day. It's trash. Like a lot of the music I listen to, I turn on the radio. My kids be, bumping certain music and stuff like that. I just can't get down with this generation of music. But I like to listen to podcasts. I like to listen to the structure of other people's shows and things like that. Just to get ideas of what my show could be, what I can do with my show. I listen to a lot of your shows too on YouTube. Like if you go live, like if you notice, you'll see me. I'll be in there. Just because I like some of the topics that you have. I think that it's important that you keep going, because even if you got one person in there on your live, it doesn't matter. You put on a good show for that one person because they came and supported you. That was the only person that showed up. You put on the best show that you can because that person is waiting on you to put out a show. Regardless if it's just one person, you got to put on a good show because that person is looking for that show. They want to hear what your take is. They want to know what you think.
Yeah, definitely, man. Yeah. You probably saw my tweets and stuff about taking a break, and then they'll help me get out, watch Kobe Bryant videos, motivation, also, just like motivation people like Will Smith and all that, and help me get back up on my feet.
I think you're slowly getting back to where you was at, because I've been monitoring your shows and things like that. I'm seeing more of the energy that I'm accustomed to seeing.
Then when I was with a group.
Yeah.
I see it too.
I think you do well as a solo act. Me personally, agree. I hate doing solo podcasts. I tried to do a solo podcast based off of the topics that we're doing today. I deleted it. And I hadn't been going live. I haven't done a live podcast in a while because I don't really like how I look on camera or how I sound when it's just myself. But
Mm-hmm.
you, that's your lane. You're good with solo podcasts because you have the energy, you have the knowledge, and I think that you have the drive to be able to, go really far with this.
Yeah, most definitely. Because I have. Yeah, we know.
A lot of
It's
echo.
all good. That's happened. It's part of going live. I noticed that because when I was part of the school called JD's Creative Academy, if you're live and you hear echo and it's echoing and it's sounding like right now, you gotta keep pushing through it.
I don't know.
Yeah, as far as my podcast, almost at 500 subscribers, 494, and I'm gonna continue to push. You know, as marathon continues.
I think that like I said before, I think that you're gonna do just fine. It's gonna be fine.
Yeah, I like having guests too. But I think solo, like by myself, is good. You know.
Yeah, man. Just keep on going, keep on moving strong with it, man. And I think that it's gonna be a great journey because you're gonna look back on a lot of the different things that you went through, all the different trials that you went through, and things like that. Just think about all the different things that you had to overcome. During the journey. You know, when you lost, when you lost your dad, you want to stop then. But you have to think about it. What your dad want you to stop what you was doing, what you're passionate about.
No, he said keep going. He always told me if anything ever happens to me, keep striving for your podcast. Don't give up.
Keep going.
Yeah. And here's the crazy thing too. Me and Kevin Durant, going back and forth on Instagram, I asked him to come on my podcast. You know what he said? It wouldn't make sense. You don't got enough of big of an audience. And I took that as motivation. Big time.
Say that again.
He said, I'll have enough of a big of an audience. Just when I first started. Like he's like, it wouldn't make sense. So I still get DMs saying I suck or you need to quit YouTube. You don't know what you're talking about. I screenshot it and use it as motivation. You know.
I know this is gonna piss you off, but Kevin Durant is actually one of my favorite basketball players.
Yeah, no, he told me.
I don't know if I told you.
Yeah.
He's one of my favorite basketball players.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't look at guys because of their personality off court. I mean, he's an incredible basketball player. Yeah, I'm pretty sure, like, even though like he said that to you, I know for a fact you'll welcome him to the Lakers if he wanted to join.
Oh, most definitely. Hell yeah.
Yeah, you're gonna do all on that.
And I get in the media session like this big baby. Get out of here.
Oh yeah, he you see what he did with Michael Rappaport, right?
Yeah, but Michael Rappaport should have done that. Like screenshot and Stephen A. Smith is all mad at him for doing that screenshot.
Oh yeah, that was weak.
Mm-hmm.
That was weak. I think that was real weak.
If I was the Kevin Durant, I'd try to stay off social media this year, rest of the year.
Yeah, I mean, right now during basketball season, I don't think that you should be on social media like that.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, like, because your job, all eyes are on you. Everybody's looking at you, what you got to say, what you're doing, and especially with your team. Right now, your team has championship aspirations.
Yeah,
and you've been out for a while, and the last thing you need to be doing is going back and forth with a comedian. They want to hear a soundbite. They want to see you come out of your element. They already call you soft and things like that. So they're just basically trying to, get a reaction out of you, and they did. They always say that he's the thinnest skin.
You think Michael Rappaport would have said that in public to him though?
No, and I don't think Kevin Durant would have said what he said in public.
Mm-mm.
Kevin Durant is not going to run up on anybody. I mean, it's Kevin Durant.
Yeah.
I mean, like, it's just too much to lose
and
nothing to gain.
So
for that experience. You know, one of them should have been like, man, this is just not cool. I'm gonna just back up off of this. You know, like, okay, and I think it got too far when the wife got involved. You know, like people's wives, you know, should never come in between an argument or anything like that. That's just a topic that you just should just leave alone. You should never ever bring kids, wives, you know, financial status or popularity status or anything like that, your celebrity status. None of that should ever come you know, amongst men if you're arguing about something. I just think that's the weakest move to take when it comes to that.
Yeah, 100%.
So, Big Baby, this is the last topic. Do you have any final thoughts on the show? What do you got coming up? And also let everybody know about what you've been doing with your podcast and where they can find you at.
You guys can find me on YouTube, Big Baby Sports Podcast. I got the Lakers live post-game show tomorrow night after the Lakers game versus Kings. I got so much stored down the line. Got some great shows coming up. And I'm looking forward to it. You know, and Corey, man, we need to do a podcast on my end. We'll set it up.
Oh, man, send me an invite for the next time you do an actual podcast. I get on there, man.
All right, for sure, man.
Just hit me up. I want to do a podcast on your show.
Yeah.
All right, man. So that's gonna be our show for today. You know, Big Baby, again, I appreciate everything that you been doing as far as like the support. Like I said, every time I get on anything that's live or whatever, you're the first one to comment. You're the first person to tap in, and I think that you know that means a lot to me because you know I have like people, you know that say they support but don't show the support, but you always are a constant. Whenever I'm going live, whenever I'm trying to do something, you're always being that motivating factor that wants me to make, you know, I want to keep going because I think that, you know, you seeing what I'm doing, it inspires you. And that's all that matters to me. If I'm inspiring somebody, if I can only reach one person for what I'm doing, I want, you know, that person to take value in what I'm doing and apply it to what they're doing.
Yeah, most definitely, man.
So that's going to be our show for today, Big Baby. I'm Corey. We're out.
If you love the Out of Bounds Sports Podcast, we'd love for you to subscribe, rate, and give a review on iTunes. Until next time.